Miss Shanterra McBride. Miss McBride is the founder and director of PLOT, Preparing Leaders of Today, an organization committed to inspiring young people to be more than what's expected, more than what's required, and more than what's needed. More than what's modeled. She is a sought-after speaker on all things related to young people, including youth development, youth leadership, and issues often prominent with adolescents, such as friendships, cyberbullying, including inappropriate texting, communities, and teen relationships.
The word bullying is a word that I believe when young people hear it, you immediately shut down. Because it is a word that adults use. We use it to describe behavior that children, and I'm using that word on purpose because this is how adults talk when we talk about young people and bullying. So we say, the children are bullying each other. And then when I ask for a specific behavior, most of it has to do with kids just being annoying with one another. Most of it has to do with exclusion, teasing, social hierarchy stuff, somebody who broke up with somebody and now that guy's now talking to that girl even though that girl knew that in her head that she liked that boy and now they go together in her head because she smiled at him. Like, that's the stuff. Like, most of the time, it doesn't have to do with these big, sweeping, bullying stuff. So I do my very best not to ever go into a community and say, you all need to stop bullying. However, I will ask that students begin to treat one another with dignity. Now, how many of you, by show of hands, has ever said to somebody, they disrespect me? I feel disrespected. Ever been? Yeah. Okay. Now, what does the word respect mean? Respect is usually something that is earned. It's usually something that's earned because of title, because of position, because of place. Respect is something that you usually get because you've achieved something. So when the Queen of England stands in the room or comes in the room, people learn about, how to curtsy and do all that polite stuff. When the president, regardless of your political affiliation, when the president enters a room, everyone has to do what? They have to stand up. So respect is usually something earned. Dignity is exactly what you just described. Dignity is how we treat people because they show up. Dignity is something that you get because you decided to show up in the space. It is not something that must be earned. Dignity is what every human being deserves, period. Our culture, and I mean the big society, we have an issue with treating people with dignity. And unfortunately, y'all are carrying the brunt of that because you were learning from us on how to treat people. Here are two things. First of all, I don't know if you've noticed this, but on the first one, when I say raise your hand if you've ever been teased, made fun of, and all that kind of stuff, about 98.725 of y'all raise your hand. Including moi, which is probably shocking because I'm just, yes. But back in, a while back, I was horribly teased. There were 3 girls, and I will never forget them, right? There are 3 girls, Carolyn, I won't say their name because I don't want y'all to have my back and go Google them. But there are 3 girls who I will never forget them. I know their names. I know what they look. It's like I see them. And for me, this drama started in 5th grade. I was a new girl at school, have no idea why, but these 3 girls decided that I did not meet their standard. I was not treated with dignity. For no reason, I cannot tell you. Now, let me own up to some stuff, right? I'm a smart girl, a bit smart. Started reading very early. I know answers to stuff. So when the teacher would call in a volunteering class, my hand may have gone up a time or 2. But that participation grade, was strong like into a show that used to go on television called Happy Days. Don't ask me why I would come to school in poodle skirts and what I did. I was that girl. Because I was expressing, and my mother's father, they taught expression, be you, be real, be whoever you want to be, do that. Poodle skirts. Yes. Right? So I would raise my hand to give answers, which was annoying. And then I wore the poodle skirt every day. That was my thing. Okay? So they didn't like that, they made fun of that. There are a few lies that adults tell young people. One lie being, and maybe y'all have heard these lies, I was started, let's see if you can finish it. Sticks and stones. But words will never hurt. Lie number one. Okay? The other lie was kill them with lie number two. Lie number two. Lie number two. Right? Oh, lie number three. Ignore them. Ignore them. Sticks and stones, lie number one. Kill them with kindness, lie number two. Just ignore them, Shanterra. It's not a big deal. La, 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 la. I was teased. Hated going to school. I would tell adults, and then those lies would come out of their mouth. So then I realized, oh, lie number four, this is big, because my mother, I am her oldest, which means I'm her favorite and her best. So my mother said, Shanterra, they are just jealous of you. Anybody else's mama lied to you with that? Yes, indeed. It is a lie. It is a lie. Now, let me tell you, because I believe my mother, one day I went to school, the three girls were getting on my reserve nerve, and I turned to them and said, you are just jealous of me. That's exactly what they did. They busted out at one girl, I think she spit out all of her strawberry soda. But I also raised my hand, y'all. What I asked you to raise your hand if you have ever teased anyone. So yeah, Miss Assistant Principal Shanterra McBride, hand is in the air. Right. But the hand is up. Because even though I went through that drama with those three girls, in 7th grade, I went to a new school. 7th grade was my opportunity to begin again. 7th grade was my opportunity to start a new life, take on a new person. So I found the girl in the school who I felt like I can get away with saying certain things to. Unfortunately, I was also that girl that adults really liked. So if that girl ever decided to tell an adult that I said something kind of unkind, it would be really difficult for her to be believed because, well, I was Shanterra McBride. And I was involved. When we talk about what it feels like to be teased, to be made fun of, hurt, broken, all that kind of stuff, when we talk about how does it feel to make fun of someone else, we truly do, we think it's funny, and then we get that delayed guilt. Let me tell you what happened to the girl that I know I So one day, she was walking into the cafeteria. She had a tray of food, right? And she was walking, and she did that. Have you ever walked and then you tripped over the floor? And then you look back at the floor, and then because you think something has come up, but really nothing has come up. And then at the same time, you hoping no one saw you. So you look around real quick and like, whoo, yeah. And I don't think anybody saw her, except for Shanterra McBride. From my table, I knew her name, and I said, you are so clumsy. And the people at my table begin to laugh with me at her. That young lady put her tray of food on the table and left the cafeteria. Now, laughing with my friends, I felt disgusted. I went in front. I immediately knew I had crossed the line. But every time I said something, I crossed the line. So I got up, went out in the hallway to go find her. and try to do my thing that I normally do. I go find her, I apologize, I tell her I was playing, stop being so sensitive, girl, we good, This time I couldn't find her. Then I learned the girl transferred from our school. Who does that? So that my ignorant self, instead of taking responsibility, I said, why would someone leave school? So I go to the reunion. I'm all excited because I've changed. At this time, I'm living in D.C. I'm working with young people. You know, I've been transparent. I've turned over new leaf. I'm doing stuff, changing the world, being in Essence and stuff. Like, I'm doing my thing. So yeah, I'm going to the reunion. I go to the reunion, there's a table of people, I get my name tag, and the yearbook person, Robin. Robin says, oh, Shanterra. Girl's name, Katrina is her name. Katrina is looking for you. I said, oh my God, Katrina, that is so great. I can't wait to see her. Now in my head, because I watched Disney, I had decided that I was going to apologize and music was going to start playing because that's what happened, you know? And I look at her and I said, Katrina, it's great to see you. You transferred, you left school. She said, of course I did. I was like, she really hoping on this. It's been 10 years, girl, let this go. But whatever. I knew I had to own up. So I said, Patricia, may I talk to you? So I reached for her hand to pull her away from the crowd. The woman would not move. By this time, a crowd had gathered. Big crowd. Everybody watching, right? So, crowd is there, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna go, I can do this. And I said, Katrina, you know what? I need to apologize to you. You probably don't remember. I can name the 3 girls from 5th grade, but I said to this woman, you probably don't remember this. But there was an episode, she cut me off. She said, you think I don't remember? She said, I remember. She said, I almost tripped in the cafeteria, and you made a huge scene, and you had the entire cafeteria laughing at me. I remember. She said, I remember because that was the day that I could no longer come to that school. You constantly apologized. They were fake. You didn't mean the word. And I'm like, wait. As people, grown people, are standing there watching this go on. So I'm looking around like, somebody gonna say, the crowd doing, Really? Y'all were the same people that laughed with me 10 years ago. And she said to me, I said, Katrina, you know what, you're right. I apologize for that. I was wrong. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I have changed. I'm not the same. She said, I don't believe you. You are probably still the same hateful, mean, and evil girl you were in high school. She has every right. So, Shanterra, what's the point? The point is, people don't forget. It don't matter what you do. I don't care how many speeches I've done. I don't care how many articles I've been in. I don't care how many books I will ever write. She will not forget. Will she forgive? I pray so. But memory is something that we don't use. So young people, I'm not asking you to invite everybody to your house for dinner. I'm not saying that you got to give everybody a handwritten thank you note. I'm asking that you treat each other with dignity. That's it. That's it. You don't lose nothing. You lose nothing by treating each other with dignity. That's it. You lose nothing. Those who are laughing with you, they will laugh at you. They will be in that circle. Right. But you don't lose anything. Treat each other with dignity. Period. You lose nothing. Thank you.